So my name is Emma Haug and we're doing my MAPS assignment for today. I'm here with Sylvia Sprem and she's going to be my facilitator. So I was born in May 30th, 1999. I was born to a German and Canadian family. My father's side being German and my mother's side being Canadian. It was a little bit of an interesting upbringing because my dad's side was more European. It was a little more of a tougher family life, a little bit harder to get support from, but my mom has always been extremely supportive as she grew up in a family of 12, almost 13, so she never actually got the support when she was younger, and she wanted to give everything to my brother and I. So I've never been afraid to go to her for anything, which is something that's also really helped me in my life.
So she's your number one
She is my number one support. She's
person.
been the person that's been there for me through everything.
What about your brother? How young, older?
My brother is 17 years old right now. We didn't have a good relationship for a very long time because he reminded me of my father a lot, as I don't actually have the best relationship with my father, as my parents are divorced, and it's just never been a connection there.
It never feels.
I've never felt a connection between my father and I. It's never been the same thing. But I do have a lot of his personality traits, and I actually look like him a lot. So it's kind of funny how I don't really have that connection with him.
But you see it in yourself all
I
the
see it
time.
in myself, and I used to hate it. I used to resent the fact that I sounded like and acted like my father.
What about now? Have you grown into it? You've grown fine? You realize
I've learned to accept it. It's not something that I'm fond of.
you're
Mainly just
accepting
because
who you
of...
are now.
Mostly. It's just mainly for the fact being that there's stuff that's happened in the past that affected me throughout my life, and it's kind of made me grow up a little bit quicker than I should have. So that's why they always say oh, you're so grown up and
Mature
you
for
act
your
so
age
mature,
and
and people always think I'm older than I actually am. It's just people don't realize that the reason why I am like that is because of the experiences that I've had to go through while I was younger.
Because they're not usually what a 14-year-old normally experiences.
Correct.
And
it's just been a little different, I guess, my upbringing. My parents separated when I was 14 years old. I was diagnosed with ADHD when I was in grade 3.
very young age then.
Yes, very young. And I was put into a special education class when I should not have been put into the special education class, because I only had ADHD. The only issue I had was with math. And while I was in there, my brother also got diagnosed with ADHD, and we weren't treated the greatest, and that's kind of what made me want to go into the developmental service program.
So that's where all the passion started for all of this, and
but
the caring for others.
I got a little bit more passionate about it when my brother was diagnosed with Tourette's disorder, which was brought on by a medication that he was given for his anxiety. Well, Tourette's syndrome, sorry. It's something that's kind of been on my mind for a long time, and I used to resent my brother a lot for the fact that he would get more attention than me for the issues that he was having.
Yeah.
But we've learned to kind of accept one another now, and it's been a little bit better and easier to get along.
So is that where it started too? You want everyone who has a disability to feel like they can get the attention that they need and want, that they need the support?
So I didn't realize it immediately. It was more of me, because I originally gone to school for criminology for a couple months, and I realized that's not exactly where I want to be. So I took some time to think about it, and then I started to think about how when I was in high school, I actually did work with the special ed class in the school, and I worked with teenagers with developmental disabilities, and it was something that I was really passionate about. I'm still in contact with some of the parents of the children with developmental disabilities, so it's something that is very, I really enjoy. I find it very interesting. Before that, I never actually thought about being a DSW. I always thought I was going to be a therapist or something like that, anything that has to do with mental health, and it's something that I still have an interest in, but I think that's just because I've dealt with a lot of my own mental health issues. I was diagnosed with generalized anxiety disorder when I was 15, and I had a lot of issues with depression at the time, so I've been on so many different medications for ADHD, depression, anxiety, and it's just been a little extreme to the point where technically I went cold turkey off my meds, which was not an advised situation. It was just something I couldn't really deal with being on medication anymore. I felt like I was losing myself.
Do you think if you were on the medications now, would you be where you are? Would you be studying what you are now?
I thought about going back on them when I started university, just because of the fact that I thought it would help with me managing my stress.
And all the schoolwork and work, everything piling up.
It's not something that I think I would ever do again, just because I know how it feels to be on the medication. And I don't like the feeling of it. I don't like the idea of having to rely on something that's not, I guess, it's not me.
Yeah.
And it turns me into something that's not me. Like,
A second person.
I am me with all of my issues. That's fine. But if I don't have those issues, am I really me? That's kind of what I think. And so I don't think I would ever go back on the medication. If anything, I think I would go on a very, very, very low dose. But that would just be because I do have panic attacks. Not as often as I used to. I used to have them like every day, but I can always feel them coming on. And so I feel it in my hands.
When to push back or whatever.
So whenever I know I'm going to have a panic attack, I can feel it in my hands, as my hands are very, very sensitive to me. They're very big. I don't know, I'm very touchy because it helps me, like, mentally just kind of, like, feel love, I guess.
Yeah.
Because my mother is very touchy as well, and I kind of have her personality, and she always wanted to do what I'm doing, but she never actually had the chance to. And so I guess that's another thing that motivated me to go into the field I'm in. So I think some of, like, the dreams that I do have for the future is one, of course, to graduate Humber.
Yeah.
I'm really excited about it. I can't wait to get into the field. I'm trying to get into a day program for the summer because I just want to kind of have that interaction even when I'm not in school. Right now I'm at Seneca School for my co-op, and I absolutely adore it. I've met so many amazing people there. I love all the kids. They're so, like, I don't know, it's just
amazing to
amazing,
work with.
and I just feel a connection with them, which I don't have with a lot of people.
It's hard, especially in our field. We're all kind of the same personality.
Because you do have to have that kind of personality to be able to work with people and support people in that situation. Another one of my dreams is I just want to be happy where I am in life. Right now, I'm financially working to be able to afford a car.
I think there's a cost for that. There's usually costs.
So I'm trying to
save money.
Yeah, I'm trying to save money and be able to work hard and getting that achievement accomplished, because I feel like because I did just get a new job at the airport, and it is paying a lot better than where I was originally.
Is it less stressful than
your
previous
stressful.
job?
My previous job, I did have a lot of issues with customers, as it was very anxiety inducing, and people don't treat you the best when you're in retail.
So, following back to the anxiety and the panic attacks, is there any way, if you know you feel it coming on, but you feel you can't control it yourself, is there any way you can have someone help you, or how we can recognize something coming in?
I do have coping strategies that I usually use. I have a certain song usually that I often change up that I listen to when I do start to have a panic attack. I also kind of know how to, I guess, massage my hands to try and get the feeling out, to make myself...
The stimulation that you need.
So it does make me a little bit calmer, because everything starts in my hands, and then I start to feel it through the rest of my body. So I do have to figure out, I guess, what is usually triggering the anxiety, because it does happen
very often, or
not very well. I always feel a little bit anxious. It's just the panic attack usually comes on. It comes on randomly. It's not something that I usually know why I'm having this panic attack.
So there's no specific trigger.
There's nothing specific. It's just
combining.
Yeah, everything's combining, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, I just have to kind of go with it. But I've dealt with that, and I understand, like, it's not something I can control. And my big thing was, like, my big nightmare is losing control. So I need to kind of learn to kind of let go in situations and not focus on things that I can't control, because there's a lot of things that in life I will not be able to control. Like, I can't control what happens in certain situations. I can control what happens with me.
And others I try to help and support.
Well, that is something that I also cannot control. I cannot control the complete end result of things. Yeah. I can support someone to make the decisions they need, and I can support someone to get the help they need, but I can't control if someone else does something that they're not supposed to do.
Yeah. It's not
doesn't-
your responsibility.
Yeah.
Everyone is in control of their own life.
It's just I have a habit of always blaming myself if I lose control, and that's something that like I do need to kind of let go of. And it's kind of funny because I realized that when I was in a car accident, was I got rear-ended, and I kind of figured out that I can't control everything.
Yeah.
And that kind of like, in a way, even though I broke a rib and like it was a bad accident, it made me realize that I cannot control everything that happens in my life, and some things are just not meant to happen.
So when you feel like you're losing control, what are some ways we can help you or guide you?
There's no way that I can really be helped other than just being told that I need to take some time to think about everything that's happening.
So a reminder, like, okay, you need to take a breather.
It's more like just a recognition, just being like, okay, so do you need time to just walk away? And that's something that I will usually say, no, I'm fine, but sometimes it's just, don't ask me, just tell me.
Yeah.
Because
so if you give the option.
If you give me the option, usually I'll stick with it, because I'm not a person that likes to give up on things. I'm a person that likes to stick to things very, very strictly. And I'm a bit of a control freak, which is why in my life I can't plan a lot of things out, because it gets too intense.
And you're very hard on yourself.
I'm very hard on
Especially
myself.
if something doesn't go your way.
I need to learn to kind of let go.
So you need to kind of remind yourself, okay, does this really need to go this way, or can I give it a little leeway and say, okay, this is how it's gonna go. It's gonna be okay.
And I do find that actually I push people away because of that reason. So like with my boyfriend, if we were going out somewhere, I have to have everything planned to the T before we go out, or I will have a panic attack, which is something that, of course, panic attacks do come with losing control for me. It's just sometimes I have them randomly as well. But it's just I need to learn that I can't plan everything, because that is kind of ruining relationships for me.
Yes.
As my boyfriend is
Everything happens in different ways.
Because my boyfriend isn't someone who likes to plan everything out. He's more of like a go with the flow kind of person.
So
I'm the
you
person
need to
that
give up something in order for it to work too as well.
So that's kind of what I've learned, especially with living with him now. Sometimes relationships get a little strained when you're living with someone and seeing them 24/7. So it's kind of like also me finding space and him finding space, as he's a little bit more of the person that likes to go out and have fun and be with his friends, stuff like that, and I'm more the person that likes to come home and
sit in bed and watch a movie or something.
and just do something with him, because I've seen other people throughout the day. And that's why I need to work on myself, not just, I guess, relying on him and myself, relying on other people as well, because I have trouble, I guess, trusting or putting myself on people sometimes, depending on who the person is. Because if I make a connection with someone, it will be immediately. It won't just like happen over time. And like with you, like I made a connection with you pretty quickly. It wasn't something that just happened over time. It was just all of a sudden we were like friends.
Yeah.
And that's kind of how most of my relationships start. And I love it, because it means I don't have to, I guess, try as hard
to get people's
to get
attention,
people to
make
like
them
me.
like you.
Because I'm the kind of big person that doesn't like to, I don't care if someone likes me. I don't care if you hate me. I don't care if you like me. As long
you
as
are who you are.
Yeah. Like, it's not something that I can change. I can change certain aspects about myself, like how I accept things and how I process things, but I can't change who I am. And I've kind of become more accepting of that. Like, I can say now that I do love myself. I love who I am. I love that I can actually, like, make people feel good and make people happy.
Yeah.
And that's, I guess, why I originally wanted to go into the mental health field, is because I actually focused on, like, it's more what I do for myself, and I feel like coping strategies like that could actually help others.
Do you feel as if you give yourself enough time for yourself? Like, do you have enough
Oh, yeah.
time
I think I
calm
give
down,
myself-
to read a book?
I think I give myself too much time.
Too much? So
Yeah.
you need someone
So-
to kind of push and like, okay, Emma, you gotta do your homework now. It's
Yes.
not just movie time.
I'm a big procrastinator. I have a lot of issues with that, but I'm kind of like working towards getting over them. But it's just, I do sometimes need that reminder to kind of shove me to do
So
something, because I do
besides
have
that,
that ADHD
what
where it's like
else?
I can't focus.
What else besides just a reminder when you're procrastinating? You have to have, okay, put the laptop away. If I'm not using it, it's going away.
That, and then also I do have an app where I like lock my phone so that way I can just do something else. But I do need the reminders to just stop.
Yeah.
That's the reminder that I need, is just stop what you're doing and get back to what you're supposed to be doing. Because I am a huge procrastinator, and I need help getting on track most of the time.
So even though you procrastinate, do you think, or do you know you can achieve graduating from the DSW program? You know that's in you, even though you procrastinate, even though you have the panic attacks and anxiety. You know it, but do you need any other help? Do you need reminders daily?
I'm a big wing it person. It's not always the best scenario, but usually I go through things even if I wing it. It's just, I don't know if I'm ever going to be able to get personally in the mental state, which is very weird because I am such a control freak that I still procrastinate.
Yeah,
It's like,
but it's hard too because you can be one thing, but you're the complete opposite, and then it's hard to find the middle.
Sometimes I do feel like I just have too much going on, and I don't have trouble like stepping away. It's just kind of like forgetting about stuff or like not thinking about it for a bit because I do think about things a lot and I do overthink a lot of things, but I feel like in the end, like I do have a lot of motivation to get stuff done.
So maybe even just keeping a journal or a daily schedule so you can have like one thing to kind of think about.
I've tried keeping a schedule before, but I did find that it made me feel like I was controlling too much.
And then all the anxiety
And then like if I missed,
so
if I missed something, then I would feel like I was gonna freak out. And
I'm the same way.
And then also journaling, I just forget about it. Like I don't like writing about myself. Sometimes when I was younger, I used to write letters to people, and if something happened, like if I wanted to give it to them, I would print it out and give it to them, but that was just a better way for me to confront people about situations. The one person that I probably should have done that for was my father, but I kind of instead just went 5 years without talking to him, which wasn't the best thing on my part, but I'm also the child, not the adult, so there's nothing I could really do in a situation like that.
So do you feel now, going back with your father, do you feel that mending things or trying to build it up now is kind of helping you in your goals in your future? Or do you still feel just the same way? You're on your own, you don't need him?
Honestly, it doesn't affect me. We're at 17 minutes.
Well, it was lovely
I'll get ready
talking
to
with
cut
you,
it out.
Emma.
I'll get ready to cut it out, it's fine.
Is there anything else you'd like to talk about? Any other dreams, nightmares?
Honestly, I feel like the main thing that I'm just trying to achieve right now is just to make enough money to get a car, and I am working towards that by working enough shifts and making sure that I'm not overworking myself as well.
Are you also saving and kind of budgeting, not going?
I have a new plan. Since I just got a job, I haven't received my first pay yet, but I do know what it's going to be like. And
so you have an estimate in your head, kind of.
And I know how I'm going to be dividing everything. And I'm going to be dividing into 3 sections, so each shift, I usually have 3 shifts a week, it's usually about 8 hours. I'm going to be putting 1 shift towards a car payment and 1 shift towards my spending money and 1 shift towards my savings.
So are you able to control and make sure you're on track with that, or do you need someone helping you, like your boyfriend who you live with? Do you need them to make sure, you're not overspending when you go to the grocery store?
I personally don't like talking about my finances with my boyfriend just because he is a little more better off than I am.
So it's more individual, something
it's
you want for
me.
yourself.
It's
now.
more something for me. I don't want to have to rely on someone to be able to just make my bills.
Yeah.
That's something that even though I feel a lot of control, like I have a lot of control issues, it's just
something you want to keep to yourself.
I don't like the idea of relying on someone for a situation that I can figure out myself.
Yeah.
Like if I needed money, I can find money.
You've got a nice job now. You know how to save. You're not overspending too much. Got a good plan with your school, so everything seems pretty all right.
Yeah, so I feel like everything that I'm doing right now is going to help me achieve my accomplishment and goal of graduating from the DSW program, and I'm very excited to actually graduate.
Okay, well, I wish you luck, Miss Howe.
It was nice talking with you, Sylvia.
Thank you.
Ooh.